So the Shabbos, the more Shabbos.
Yeah, we're going to finish off the Pedic. I want to finish off the Pedic tomorrow, but it's not that much in the Pedic. There's not that much in the Pedic. So I want to.
Answer your question, but
Yeah. Thank you. So I want to, even though I spoke about it on Sukkot, I kept on arguing with my brother Ed Yom Tov until Shkia and on Cholamoid. So still arguing about it. But I'll present to you the argument, and you'll make your own decision about this. Here's the question. The din is, if you build a sukkah, it's chanach sukkahs again. The Rebbe wanted every time there should be a Kinnus Torah after the Yom Tov, and it was in Yeruchna, like I said. I don't was it azui, but the Rebbe given the zach that, and it wasn't stam. It was, I know my so there was a mishpach, and the Rebbe walked in 770 and he saw the father-in-law, son-in-law, the chuppah was going to be the next day. They were talking outside 770. The Rebbe said, why? What? They said tomorrow's the chasna. The Rebbe said, you can go to the Kinnus Torah. Talk later about the chasna. So the Rebbe is bem geven sehr choshev der zach. So we're connecting. So I want to talk about the shaila lepilpula. The thing is, if you build a sukkah in a place that's not safe, the sukkah is not kosher. Poil in New York, all over. I used to live in the Bronx. It was befedish not safe to sleep in that sukkah. It was sakonas nefashos to sleep in that sukkah. So technically, apidina de Shulchan Aruch, it's a posel sukkah, and you're not allowed to make leisha basukah when you sit in that sukkah.
Even if you're not sleeping there?
Oh, hab ich getracht a chiddush. Ich bin a Lubavitcher, I'm not sleeping in the sukkah anyway. Right. So for me, it should be kosher. So everyone that I said,
how do you measure the
no, but the Shulchan Aruch says if it's dangerous to sleep there, then it's not kosher to eat there.
How do you measure the sakona?
So we'll read it inside. But so line in a minute. How do you measure the sakona? We'll line in a minute. But I'm just telling you before we start the nakuda of my shaila.
Crown Heights not better than Bronx.
At Crown Heights, when I was a kid, was sakonas nefashos. Mamish. It was sakonas nefashos. So if you have a sukkah in your backyard and there's gates around, then on the zach, barbed wire is on the zach. But if you're having in the driveway a sukkah, it was not safe to sleep there by night.
This week in Parak Echad, we're speaking all about the hilchos of sukkahs.
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh, wow.
Started.
Wow. So that's the shaila. Then mitzvah mobiles go out, right? So they park in places in Manhattan. By day, it's a pleasure to do business there. By night, you don't want to hang out there. So in Luyatsuyer, the sukkah stays there all night. Well, Taka, like Chabad in Midtown, a lot of places they build sukkahs in public places. By day, it's a pleasure to be there. By night, it's not safe, so you can't sleep there by night. If you're not comfortable to sleep there by night, by day it's a possible of sukkah. It's Taka l'choyra chiddush. You tell people about it, they don't even believe you, but it's a din mefurish in Shulchan Aruch. And hein emes that I was looking, what's the mocker din? Nagos my money is. And I was thinking, Taka Achidush Dover, we learned before Sukkah, the Sikha, the Rebbe, about Shlofen and the Sukkah. The Rebbe brings from the Rogatchover.
But the same Sukkah you could move, I'm sorry, the same Sukkah that you say is not safe at night, at the day you move it from here to here to here. So why is not kosher? Should be kosher.
No, we read it in Shulchan Aruch. We'll read it inside. We read it soon inside, you'll see.
I moved the mobile Sukkah from a dangerous.
I hear. Mobile Sukkah, you could say, I can move it. But a Sukkah that's not on wheels, you can't move. It doesn't have wheels. Theoretically, you could move it. L'poil Shulchan Aruch says if you build your sukkah in a mokum, it's worse even than the sukkahs that they build here on Avenue J in front of the pizza shops. Those sukkahs is also a shayla because even the Yidna not makbid, the goyim are makbid, and therefore even though karka in an exelos, the Shulchan Aruch is not allowed to make a bracha leishav sukkah. But at least your yoytz and mitzvah sukkah, you're allowed to eat in it. But you can't make leisha basukah because the style is because the goyim are makbid that you shouldn't build a sukkah on the sidewalk. The goyim don't like it. If you ask the Italian goyim from the Pharaoh's Pizza,
right, they don't want
if they liked it sukkah, they'll tell you the Italians are not ashamed about their anti-Semitism. They'll tell you they don't like it.
It's not even on their blog.
What's the difference? They don't like it.
But if you sell fresh fruit in the city, the things that are perishable, you can have stuff in front of your store. That's the law.
What about the Arab truck?
That's why if you see over here the grocery store, a Spanish guy or a women,
Right.
that they'll have
Right.
things outside.
Mhm.
The pizza shop can say he has perishable stuff too.
I don't know if that's but that's not the rule is the rule. Pizza's pizza. Apples are apples.
They have a place to eat
Apples
outside.
not pizza. Pizza's not apples. This is even worse. So B'meila, this is the shaila. My shaila is someone that's anyway not sleeping in the sukkah. If you're sleeping in the sukkah, taka, you have to build a sukkah ba'oifen that if it's in the backyard, in the side yard, you have a lock. We'll learn about it in a minute. It has to be ba'oifen that you're safe.
Well,
You're sleeping with a gun,
It's not
right?
the gun, but it's the Indian. You're supposed to sleep in the sukkah.
Pashtus, it's
not on you.
I would say probably you're right. It's not a shaila in the sukkah. It's not in the chef in the sukkah. It's in the mention. The sukkah is teish shivas yamim. There has to be such a sukkah that you could have a comfortable yeshiva there. It's sort of like because mitzvah, but it makes a din in the whole sukkah. Maybe not in the hefts of the sukkah because we see the Alter Rebbe says that if there's two people, one person he doesn't scare, he'll punch the guy in the nose. He's not the shmoida. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. So a guy says he's not scared. He could sleep, but the hooligans want to come in. I want to show him how I can punch him up his nose. And the other guy says, so the guy that's excited to get the punch, to give the punch, I meant, so for him, the sukkah is kosher. And the guy that, so it's totally in every person.
Telling your attitude.
Yeah, telling your attitude. But you can't lie. The Rebbeinu Shalom knows the truth. If you say that you're macho, you mean the Rebbeinu Shalom knows if you are or you're not. So you better not be lying. Okay, so let's read it inside. Let's read it first in the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch. You see, Shmuel, like all the sukkahs in Kvar Chabad are kosher. There's no shayla. So never to you it doesn't occur as a shayla.
Only when Iron Dome
Start failing.
Yeah.
Come on, let's learn. Loyonim and Liyisha. Fechai v'toyra leisha b'sukkah kadem shodam dor bebeis. Kol hashon. Lefikach mishu mitztar b'yeshiva sukkah. Yitz meni yenot kol menatzar. Poter menatzuk. Afshe b'chol hashona. Ein odam dor b'mokim shum mitztar. Because a person is never going to live in a place where he's mitzvah. Is a mitzvah. Is a sheni okol lechel alisha besuk bnei ruach shemitzvah bnei azmum berushim keitzim reach hashom nicham techazuk sheitz meni notzim kolel v'med v'ramurim shnei l'tzar b'mikra acher shas shamasuk. Avlim also sukkah b'mokim shiyudu aloi sheitztah achakach. He built a sukkah and he knows there's going to be a ton of mosquitoes there. Keep going. She'osa b'makom sheruch sheletas metzuya. V'afil also makom shelei letzar b'achila she'el letzar b'shina. Ken she'osa b'rafoiv she'ef sh'lalishim b'nachas machmas moira ganovim v'alisni. Hari sukkah zupsula. Simple. This is a possible sukkah. Ve'ini yoytza b'afila b'achila. Ava b'she'en letzar klau. L'fi she'kol sukkah she'en yochel lechel v'lishta z'chotayel. V'lishim bo b'nachas b'loshum tzar. Ein nikra dira klau. It's a din that people miss out, but it's a din. Just because they didn't notice it doesn't mean it's not a din, but that's a din. A person, he makes a sukkah in the street. The klita shmisha yochalach nisim balayla l'tech habayis. Well, the cholach latchila in lasas sukkah berechoiv for different reasons. We spoke about it before. Okay, so it's very clear. We'll soon learn it in the Machaber and the Ramah, but the Alter Rebbe adds a few words here and there. Kedarkoi makes it very, very clear. So my shaila is, so if you built a sukkah and you're Lubavitch anyway, not going to sleep in the sukkah. So maybe we should say the sukkah is kosher.
He's not sleeping in his house either.
Hopefully. So okay, but that's my shaila. But he's not misyored because whatever he's sitting. The word is.
I'm sorry. He's all night. He's watching.
Huh?
He's sitting there.
He's sitting and then learning, but still, theoretically, that's my shaila. Does it have to be safe enough that if you wanted to lay down and sleep, or say, listen, I don't mach I'm just reading one piece. It'll be a little negeya, but really is negeya in the next piece. That Rama and some Tafresh Lamates said base. Masha noyeg machshav lahokel b'shina she'en yishena b'sukkah raka medaktikim b'mitzvahs yesh emin mishum tzina. The yesh tsar lishem b'makom esakonim. That's the Mordechai Perek Hayosha. V'liniyah mishum the mitzvah sukkah ishu beisei. Ish v'ishti keder shador kol hashana b'makom shel yuchel lishem ishte she'en lesukkah yachedes potter. Tevel hachmar v'liyas sham im ishte k'moy shador kol hashanim efshelo lesukkah yachedes. That it would be better that he has a sukkah where he could. By the way, this is a very important nakuda. When we learned the Succah, the Rebbe explains why Chabad doesn't sleep in the sukkah. I said at that time, you have to be careful if you're arguing with someone. That's not the Succah to talk about. If a person is a manas lakanter, a person is going to start making latzanas of you instead of making latzanas of the whole thing. If you have to knock someone in the teeth because they're just arguing with you, just say that me and the Mordechai are in good company, because the Rishonim all said that minig aposhet b'klal Yisrael for the past 1,000 years was not to sleep in the sukkah. Amadaktik in the mitzvahs did. Why would they not sleep in the sukkah? As a machloikis, either because it's mekaymas hakorim, or because they couldn't afford to build a sukkah that'll be comfortable for ish v'ishte. The reason why the Rebbe is not happy with answering this, because the Rebbe said that he saw his father-in-law that was frail and was medaktik to go out in the sukkah to drink a cup of water. So why would he not sleep? So it couldn't be because Bisman Hazeh the Rishonim shengazak that the minig Yisrael couldn't be that's the reason. It couldn't be that Rebbe's father slept in the sukkah. Yeah, they said that. Alter Rebbe we know. I don't know if they're that. Tzemach Tzedek, I told the story. Tzemach Tzedek.
When the Rebbe was a kid, he slept in the sukkah with his father?
Weiß ich nicht.
Islam, you did.
Mistam? He did what his father did.
Yeah.
So Ibemis, the whole word that the Rebbe in the why Chabad is the sukkah is not a halacha shayla. If a person is looking for a kula, the Shulchan Aruch schon gesagt.
Maybe he was in Karnitz.
No. Sorry, the Mittler Rebbe already. The Mittler Rebbe didn't sleep in the sukkah. So the Mittler Rebbe said that he's mitzvah. So there could be because the pshat is that they didn't know. The Rebbe made very public all the shmuas, the sipurim that he heard from his father-in-law that were mekubal merebbe larebbe. And a lot of them were right. A lot of them were in manuscripts that no one ever saw. How many, besides the Tanya, nothing was published. This whole idea to publish, the Rebbe once said to his brother-in-law, he was Machmavla, he said they have tinus on me. Abol, once in 10 years, a Sefer Chassidus was printed, then maybe once a year. So it took a whole year so you could learn the Sefer. And he says, now they have tinus on me, that every week I'm printing another Sefer. The Rebbe said, Alavai, should be the only Taina and the last Taina. But it was only the Rebbe's thing that the Rebbe a lot of times said that even if his father told him something in secret, but he knew that at the end he's going to say it. So Ashma Meno that the Rebbe told everything. So this thing might have been Besoid Godel. He didn't want to say, Taka, versteht nicht, what is a pshat, and so it was kept Shmua Ish Mepish, and the general dialogue didn't know about this. But the Rebbe made it known. So the fact that his father didn't know about it, what's the pella? He heard it from his father-in-law. So and by the way, there's a few letters.
I'm not saying his father slept. Maybe his father, with the hand.
Yeah, but still. There's letters. There's letters from the Rebbe's father to him when he was still in Russia, and he writes, "Tell me more. I want to know from the shmuas that you heard from your father-in-law. You see, he tell me. I want to hear more. I want to hear more. So it wasn't known. Okay. So back to our shaila. So let's read the third piece here. The Ramosim and Tofresh Mem Siv Beis. Imosim etchila b'mokim shemitzar b'achila oy b'shtia b'shina. Next paragraph, the next big one, the third one. Again, this is the Mordechai. Misha covered loy neiris besukkah b'Shabbos yesh laner bebeis mutar lots masukkah de lech l'makom ner and tzarich leilach sukkah chaveri shesh ner mi yishterech tvarul badover baruch l'chabas neiris besukkah mutar lifre soda and begim in atzad avaloy tachas aschach. Misha, I'm reading it quick. It's not like a hard discussion. Misha loy yuchel lishim besukkah machem shetzar le bepishet yoda veraglav lemikim mitztayr char lishim shenaf bepishet tzorech lokav yoda veraglav.
This means it's a very narrow circle.
Yeah, it's an hour. I love to. I have my double queen bed. Ich darf so gut spritten, wer gute Amerikaner. I can, I remember I used to go to
At the blow-up mattress.
in Europe. There's etalach mamish. You can't turn. If you turn, you're on the floor.
Oh.
We're not murgul with such beds.
Like a knife.
So that's not called mitzvah. Hello, yuchol mitzvah and el bedav sheder abnei mitzvah boy. In mitzvah potter elam yinotzel atzum and atzaram balav chayav leishim besukam v'gav mitzvah. Okay, some of these brought are not negated for this minute. Okay, quick. Morgan Ram says, Oy Beshina. So the Ramos said that if he built a sukkah in a place that it's mitzvah, even if it's only Beshina, so then he's not yoitza with that sukkah. Pidish v'mokim deleketzina. I don't know how it ended up being double. Sorry. Pidish v'mokim deleketzina. That's it. I must have clicked double on this. Pidish v'mokim deleketzina. Okay. Okay. What's the pshat in his words? There's two ways of learning what the two ways of learning what he meant. One way of learning it, the pashta way of learning it is that this whole problem, that if the sukkah is not good and that you can't sleep in it, if it's not good by night, it's not good by day, it's only in the countries that it's warm. But b'makom deleketzina, ava b'makom d'iketzina. Where the Shulchan Aruch already said in the previous siman that b'mekoymas akorim min klal Yisrael is not to sleep. So over there, what do you care that there's a chash listim? You're anyway not going to sleep there by night. So what do you care that there's a chash listim? And Taka, the Prima Godim learns it that way. And the reason I didn't quote this Prima Godim is because it's Shingaven Nine Azeger and but Azoy sagt the Prima Godim. But at the end, he's moided to the Machzor Shekel Pshat. The Machzor Shekel Pshat says, no, that's not true. It's not what the Magen Avraham meant. It's not what the Magen Avraham meant. We'll read in a second. It's not what he meant. But so let's read it inside. Machzor Shekel says, okay, the cause of the time of the mort kelhil v'mokem es kol mitzvah b'shtzina im yashin shom im ken al kaponim mikra roy l'shina dahaneim yesh loy karim ksosas. He's saying the opposite pshat in the Magen Avraham. He's saying the words don't even fit so well. It's almost hard to read the words in them, but he's basically reading the words of the Ramah, the opposite of what he's saying. He's saying, I feel about Mokim Tzina. I'm not sure exactly how he's reading it in the words of the Magen Avraham, but be it as it may, he's learning that it's clear that the Magen Avraham holds, and like the Prima Godim uses Lamdish Oisis. He says, and this we learned recently in the Rambam, three Prakim. The base of Mikdash, you have to bring the soilus, you have to mix it with oil. When we say there's a klal, if you put 60 asronim of soilus and you put the oil, theoretically you can mix it. So therefore, it's kosher, even if you didn't mix it. I told my children, the Saraya, they always argue with me that I make the cholent not good because I put in all the ingredients and I don't mix it. They say, Tati, why don't you mix it? I said, because the Gemara says, Kol haroy lebila ein bila makevas boy. So I'm not going to waste my time to mix it.
Tahina doers tahina.
No, they don't agree. I laugh at the kids when they everything that azoy and azoy. But the Gemara says, Kol haroy lebila ein bila makevas boy. So what do I have to mix the cholent? Put in the ingredients, put in the water, and cover the blech again. They put on the blech. So Zach is azoi. the Prima Garden Lapur learns exactly like the Machzah Shekels that even in a country where it's cold and people don't sit in the sukkah, you never know. It's a global warming. What happens tomorrow morning? They may be in Anchorage, and the shliach in Anchorage said that by him in the sukkah, if you wait a few minutes, when his wife brings the chicken soup, it's already frozen. That's how cold it's in the sukkah. So right away, you have to eat the chicken soup. You can't wait till. So Lama Zogan in Anchorage.
So in places
It's global warming. They say
places that's warm, it's you're supposed to sleep in the sukkah.
you're supposed to sleep in the sukkah. And what happens in the places that are cold? He's going to build it b'makam halistim, and punkt that night is going to be a beautiful 72 degrees.
Uh-huh.
And you built it b'makam halistim. So how could you build it in a place of bandits, of robbers, of hooligans? And what happens if at night you're going to get an order from Land's End as a gazette's the pajamas that you could sleep even in the streets of Anchorage for 8 hours straight and you won't freeze?
Need a blanket.
Huh?
Need a blanket.
That does a heated blanket. No. So So you can't say because I live in a country where it's very cold and right now it's 20 degrees and I don't have a heated blanket, so I can build my sukkah b'makam listim. No, you can't. You can't build your sukkah b'makam listim. Because what happens if it'll be warm tonight? What happens if you're going to have a blanket tonight? It has to be roy, labila has to be roy that if you wanted to sleep in the sukkah and you had the blanket, you could have slept it. So therefore, basically, it's a machlok is what the Magen Avraham meant. And it seems that La Locha, the Machzah Shekel, the Prima Gadim hold that according to the Magen Avraham, even in the countries where they don't sleep in the sukkah because it's very cold, you cannot build your sukkah in a place where there's ganovim by night and you're scared to sleep. Are you really sleeping in your house? But what happens if it's going to be 72 degrees? What happens if you're going to get a good blanket? Okay. I would say L'choyre would be tall in the Shaila. Lubavitcher is not sleeping in the sukkah. So L'choyre, the Shaila is like this. L'choyre, the Shaila is like this. What happens when Mashiach Tzidkenu is going to come? Lubavitcher is going to sleep in the sukkah or not? The Mittler Rebbe said that the Makif and the Bina is so strong, he's mitzvah. So maybe when Mashiach will come, will not be mitzvah, and we'll sleep in the sukkah. Kann man doch sagen, achakele b'chol yom sheyaveh, Mashiach had kommen. So just telling this machloikis, if you hold the Medina Sakoris,
If you didn't sleep in sukkah before Mashiach came, it's not going to be zeichet to sleep in after.
But well, if he was mitzvah, maybe now he's not mitzvah.
The
And the goyim are not because they mevayit. The sukkah, he won't make the sukkah. So l'choyre be told in this machloikis. L'choyre be told in this machloikis. If we moisa Mashiach, Lubavitcher is not going to sleep in the sukkah. So you can't say that it's the same like this. Here we say maybe he'll find Korah Muksasa. Maybe he'll find out that tonight is a good, even at Anchorage, he'll find out it's warm, 72 degrees. But the Lubavitcher is never going to sleep in the sukkah. So what do you need to have to be protected by night? He can build it also b'makam listim. So
Maybe he's not thinking about it because he's not sleeping there by night. So maybe it's not anymore mitzvah. The guy who makes the sukkah, the guy makes the sukkah in the Bronx, and he sleeps in sukkah.
nobody's not sleeping. That's Mashayla. I'm saying it's machlokas acharonim.
The guy who's making
A person that lives in Anchorage and he's for sure not sleeping in the sukkah. Does it have to be built b'makam protected, or it can even be built b'makam listen? That's basically the machlokas there between the Prima God and the Machzah Shekel. He knows. So one shit that says he's anyway not going to sleep in the sukkah. The other one says no. But what happens if punkt tonight will be a miracle? It'll be 72 degrees. So I'm saying it'll be totally the Zabazach will be a Lubavitcher. But my other svara is that Lubavitcher is better off, more lakula, because Anchorage he could still get Korah Muksasa, but Lubavitcher is never going to sit in the sukkah, even if Mashiach is going to come. And I'm noted to say that Lubavitcher is not going to sleep in the sukkah even when Mashiach is going to come. Why? Because the Bill Paracha said that for big tzaddikim, it was kilu, there was never a churban. And it was kilu, b'mois ha'beis ha'mikdosh, with the gilu lakus and their daladamas, or kilu. So, and still, the Mittel Rebbe Mistama was bedaga kazu, and the Mittel Rebbe still was mitzvah. It's hard for me to imagine that me and you are going to be Moitza Mashiach in a higher dagen than the Mittler Rebbe. So if the Mittler Rebbe didn't sleep in the sukkah, so if you're a chos of the Mittler Rebbe and you're also being mitzvah, the Rebbe, granted, the Rebbe says you're not mitzvah because of Makif and the Bina. The Rebbe says mitzvah, as I grob young, the word from the Mittler Rebbe, der nimmt nicht, and I'm not feeling the Makif from the Bina in a way that I could push it, fall asleep with the sukkah. But any bottom line is, I think so. So my brother was arguing back. He's saying, but it says that that the goof is going to be so strong that the goof is going to be bigger than the neshama, and a person's not even going to have to eat, and the neshama is going to be nizam in aguf. So how could you say when the neshama is such a high level of kedusha? How could you say that the goof can't sleep because of makif? So first of all, I don't know what's going to be then, but
he's not going to sleep. His goof is going to be so stark, he's not going to sleep.
So, but another thing is, I think it's not a right shayla b'chlal. Based on the Maimah we learned, this idea that neshaman, that the person doesn't have to eat, ein ba'achil b'shtiya, is only b'moisat chisa meisa. We learned a whole Maimah from the Rebbe Maharash. Yeah, and that fakert, when Mashiach is going to come, there will be plenty of achil b'shtiya. Simple, the Rambam says there will be madanim mitzvim kofar. Okay, so people are not going to be running; they'll be running after learning Torah, not running after the madanim, but still the madanim mitzvim kofar. Delicacies will be easy to get. Food production will be very, very cheap, and we see take that mimois.
Start making meat.
You know what? Mimois odamerishin until today, in the past 50 years. And it's constantly accelerating. Food has not been so cheap. There are studies that show that Lamazon 50 years ago, the average family spent. I once looked at this stuff; it's unbelievable. Like the average family spent more than 50% of the income for food.
Wow.
Yeah, like something staggering, a big number. And going back maybe 200 years, it was even more. And what's the point? That food production is becoming cheaper and cheaper because of technology, agriculture, the way it's developed in a way, because agriculture being the way it's being developed now, food production is becoming unbelievably cheap and artificially cheap. That allows for the world to expand, to have millions and millions of people, billions of people. The opposite of what Goyim used to think. They used to say that Rahman al-Islam, that if there'll be too many people, then there won't be enough food. It's not true. The opposite has been proven. So we see Takev in front of our eyes that the world is going to a place that Madanim HaMatzim Kofa. So it makes sense when Mashiach is going to come, we're going to eat. But okay, so but Mashiach, we're going to eat. We're going to sleep. We're going to be regular human beings. Maybe we're going to be in a high spiritual level. So there's a word from the Rebbe. The Zoya says that Pesach is Michla de Memnusa, and Sukkah is Tzila de Memnusa. Pesach is we eat the Amunah, and Sukkah, the Amunah engulfs us. It's a higher level. It's something we can't eat. It surrounds us. But the Rebbe says that whatever is the makif of yesterday becomes nimi today. And then tomorrow, we're working on a higher level of makif. The Eibishter is ein soif. So sometimes you have a certain level of kedusha that person takes in. And the other level is too much. It's like, my head is exploding. I can't take that in. That's too much for me. But eventually a person gets there, and that's not too much. So a person goes to sleep, and goes to Florida, gets a schlafen off the beach. No. Person keeps on working in Avodas Hashem. Whatever. This year on Sukkot, it's makif. Come Pesach, it's taran coming up nimius. Next year, I'm not going to be sleeping in the Sukkah, because next year it's going to be in this gala to us a higher level in makif from the Bina. Ad ein soif, ein tachlis. The Eibush is ein soif. The makif of yesterday will become the pnimi of today. So like to sagen, the Lubavitch is not going to sleep in the Sukkah, he will Mashiach. So B'meila, So when did the Acharonim argue about the Mekayim Sakorim? That if you have to build the sukkah in a safe place or not, is only b'makayim sakorim, because maybe there's korim uksosas. But a Lubavitcher, nothing is going to change. Nothing, as long as he's a Lubavitcher chosed, he's not sleeping in the sukkah. He's mitzvah because of the gili of makif in the bina. So he's never going to sleep. Mashiach comes probably also not going to sleep. So maybe we could say for Lubavitcher, it's kosher to build the sukkah even in a place where there's listim, even if he lives in the Bronx or in Crown Heights in 1980s. And l'chayra, you can't sleep in that sukkah by night. Still, it's kosher. I know it sounds like a little bit a funny Torah. Like I said, I'm just presenting it. I'm presenting as a Kinnus Torah. I'm presenting the thought. It for sure is a good kula to use for someone that anyway has no choice. Chabad and Mitan is not asking me or you shilas. They're building a massive sukkah here and there for people that need the sukkah. But is it taka safe to sleep in those sukkahs by night? Some of them not. So technically, a liba de Shulchan Aruch, it's a apostle sukkah. You can't eat there. You can't make leisha b'sukkah. But if I'm right, so b'mekoymes hakorim, and also for Lubavitcher Chassidim, Frat for Lubavitcher Chassidim, b'mekoymes hakorim is a machloikes. For Lubavitcher Chassidim, if it's Mekoymes HaKorim, even New York is Mekoymes HaKorim, perhaps. So,
this year.
Not this year. But that cloud, New York could probably be considered Mekoymes HaKorim. I just want to point out a thing. That I looked, where's the marker of this halacha from the Gos Maimonides? The Gos Maimonides says it, but the Rambam doesn't say this halacha. You could say the Rambam doesn't say it because the Rambam has a klal. He doesn't say dinim u'chodosha. But you could also say another reason why the Rambam doesn't say it. We learned before Sukkot that Rebbe brings from the Rogachover. There's something from the Rogachover. So the Rogachover said that the Rambam, when he says what's the mitzvah of Sukkah, to eat, to drink, and to be metayel in the Sukkah. He doesn't say to sleep. He only says it's also to sleep outside the Sukkah. It's not a mitzvah to sleep in the Sukkah. If you're going to sleep, you're not allowed to sleep outside the Sukkah. But that's not a chelik of the mitzvah Sukkah. So according to that, if that's the right shot in the Rambam, maybe that's why the Rambam Taka would not hold of this din of Agos. The Gemara never says this din mefurish. So this din of Agos Maimonides, maybe the Rambam Taka would disagree with it because it's not like you're not allowed to sleep outside the sukkah. Now, if I can't sleep in the sukkah, you're going to make it apostle a sukkah. Why? According to the Rambam, it's not a chelik in Teishu King to do. So maybe Taka, that's why the Rambam doesn't say the din. Anyway, Ba'alocha, Shulchan Aruch says that it has to be built in a place that's safe. So the only kula we have is because for us is Mekoymes HaKorim. But that's a shvache kula because it's a machloikis if you can rely on that kula or not. If you're a Lubavitcher, so maybe you can rely on that even if you build a sukkah in a place that's not safe, that it's kosher.
I saw in Sukkah a Reuben at Yisrael. It says metal b'sukkah. You took the car, you open the driver's side and the back side, and you go into the car, you put like a blanket or a towel or whatever. So now you have three tfonas, and you park a door next to a sidewalk, so it's almost touching the floor. You put a regular folding chair, and the measurement is a sukkah. It's a metal b'sukkah. No matter where you drive, you stop. You open the two doors, you put a towel over there, and you put the chair, and you take a measurement, and it's 7 by this. It's kosher.
We have to know that it's totally Yankiv. There's no question that it's in our hands to do something. But we know the Rebbe's attitude that by checking up the news and knowing a little more prat and other prat in the news, Ibn Netanyahu is not asking me or you for advice. It's not like we have to crunch data, figure out what to do or not to do. Everyone tells if people say it, Netanyahu would ask me, I'll tell them this, I'll tell them that. Netanyahu not asking you what to do. Mela is nishnageya. to waste time to find out every detail of what's going on. Unfortunately, we know what's going on. We have to be moisif and Torah, tshuva, tzedakah, tefillah,
Simcha.
and definitely simcha, and they shall help him. That we should be ma'avir in a way that it should be sasam with simcha, and machol der v'der, that there's emdim aleinu. Maybe shall help him that we should have the biggest hatzolah, that comes through Mashiach Tzidkenu.
Oh, great.
There was a Kinnus line